In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to modify an image to use on your web page as a banner background image. So, I do have an image on my desktop of my hometown of Sydney, and I'm going to modify it in Photoshop. So, I'm launching Photoshop. I click Open and locate the image of Sydney, my old hometown. This image is about, as you can see here, I've got the rulers turned on in the top of my Photoshop page. By the way, if you want to know how to do that, if you need to add rulers, you can simply go to View pull-down menu and choose Rulers, and it'll either hide or show the rulers at the top of the page. If you want to see the rulers in pixels, which is what I want to do, you control click on the ruler itself and choose the measurement that you want. I'm going to choose pixels. So I can see that this image is about, it's almost 1,000 pixels wide. But what I want to do is change it to 750 pixels because that's the width of my web page. So to do that, I simply go to the image pull down menu, choose image size, and I'm going to switch the width to 750. And notice the little chain link icon here shows that the dimension is constrained so that the height matches as well to keep the image from skewing or distorting. So I click OK, and so now my image is the correct width. I might want to zoom in a little bit more. I want to take it to 75% here. But the next thing I want to do is, in order for me to feather the edges, I want to have the edges feathered so that they kind of fade out to a transparent background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Image and give myself a slightly larger canvas to work with around the image. So I'm going to make the canvas size about another 100 pixels, so 850, and I'm going to make the height about 350 pixels. Click OK. So I've got a little bit of area to work with around the back of the image. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the Magic Wand tool from the tool set on the left hand side of Photoshop. Click inside the space between the edge of the canvas and the image itself. So it selects that area, and then I'm going to choose the inverse. So it's just choosing the inside of this area here, or the actual image inside the canvas. And then I'm going to go to the Select menu, Select pull down, Modify, and Feather. And then I'm going to choose the feather radius. I'm going to make it about, and you can see here I've been playing around a little bit, I'm going to set it to 30 pixels. Click OK. Now you don't see it feathered here, but with this area selected, I'm just going to go ahead and copy the image that I have right now, and I'm going to go to New to create a new image, and this one I'm going to call Banner BGD, so background for my web banner background. I'm going to make sure the background is transparent, and I'm going to set the width to 750 pixels again, and the height I'm going to set it to about 275. Click OK, and then I'm simply going to paste the image I have, which is Command V on a Mac or Control V on a PC. So I want to move that, center the image in to the area, and here I have my image. And you can see that it's feathered around the edges, so it fades out on the corners here, and the background is transparent. So this is going to look pretty nice, I think, when I open it up on my web page. The only other thing I want to do is put my title here, and to do that, the title of my web page, I'm going to click on the text tool and choose a color from my image itself for the text. And let's see, here's an orange, I think, from the color of the bridge. I click OK. This is the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and there's the Opera House over there. And I'm just going to choose a font. I'm going to, yeah, I'll just leave it set to Lucida handwriting. 70 point looks good. Let's give this a go here. Click inside, and I'm going to type in Dave's World. All right, so there it is. Well, it's almost a shame to spoil that picture with such an ugly title, but this is just for demonstration. So now, while I've got that layer selected, notice that there's a text layer and the background layer. If I go over here and if I double click on the text layer, it switches to the actual content of the text layer. If I double click again on that, opens it up, and I can add some style to this layer. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try, well, let me try outer glow. Let's see how that works. That's all right, but maybe inner glow is, yeah. There we go, inner shadow. That looks pretty good. And I hope it stands out enough. Let's add a little bit of outer glow as well. Okay, so now I've got inner shadow and outer glow. I click OK, and yeah, that makes it stand off the background image a bit. Looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to check the dimension. It looks pretty good, 750 pixels. So now I'm ready to save it for my web page. I simply go to Save As. I'm going to look for my web folder and my images, and I'm going to save it as banner background, but I don't want it as a Photoshop document. I'm going to save it as a PNG file. And the reason I'm doing that is that the PNG portable network graphics type of file will allow me to maintain that transparency, and it'll save that transparent background so that it blends into the web page that I'm creating. So I'm going to save it as a PNG. It now says banner background PNG. Save it into my images folder in my root directory. Click Save, and smaller, slow, interlaced, none is fine. I can just leave it set to the default. Click OK. And so now I'm ready to open up my banner background image in my web page and use it as the graphic element for the top of my web page, my home page. And we'll take a look at that in the next tutorial.